See you later,
man.
Morpheus.
Yeah,
Hope to
see
see you
that.
next time.
Yeah, see you, Morris.
Yeah,
All
see
right,
ya.
thanks, man. See ya.
Nice stabbing you.
So yeah,
That's
you
better stabbing.
decide after hearing that he's a magician, you just beat the crap out of him and leave him in the bar. Just kidding.
Or I'll just tag along, shadow.
Well, I mean, plausibly, we might not trust Morvis yet and say we would meet him tomorrow after we check out the farm.
Right. Yeah, he can be your contact point, I guess, in the in the pub or whatever. We'll see.
Yeah,
how
that's a
far we
good
get
one.
here.
I mean, he's been there scumming drinks out of the locals, so maybe he's just too pissed to come. That's why he messed up his magic. So he just said, "Okay, you can hold down the fort here."
That is very plausible.
Okay, magician, you can help us a whole bunch just by staying here.
Magic.
If any Nazis come, just magic them away.
Oh dear.
All right, so okay, so I presume then that you're heading out to the place.
About damn time.
If the car vocalizes that, Constantine gives him just a very piercing stare.
Okay, I was just gonna say it looked like you wiped out the map from before. Yeah, okay. Redrawing.
I did. I'm just I'm just redrawing it right now a little bit larger this time. Using my excellent map drawing skills. Apparently that's what the river looks like.
I think you'll find that's a lake.
River. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lake.
I'm no geographer, but
It's a very small circular river.
Yeah, the oxbow still has to go somewhere. All right, so the windowless house with plants and animal slaughter and the devil.
Yep, and there are those plants again. Which is probably actually something that Val isn't up on, or is he? The plants, weird stuff with the plants.
he's got a biology degree, no?
Yeah, but I don't know.
I mean the stuff that we've learned so far.
No, I don't know anything about that.
Okay, so this guy who was institutionalized, this shit, I keep forgetting his name.
Reese?
Bentley.
No, Reese's father.
No, Reese is the guy who went
Bentley.
Bentley, yeah.
Bentley.
Like when he was institutionalized, he had this weird mania concerning plants. He would just nick plants from all the other inmates and stuff and just kind of hoard them in his room and do
He
weird
also
shit.
invented some hydroponic weed or something.
Trying to grow them on his blood or something. It's unsavory.
Well, I mean, blood is a reasonable fertilizer, I suppose, but still.
All right, so I'm just drawing this place out. So, okay, so most of this, Brian's kind of done some cursory. I mean, you meet up with him out here in between the little the town and the little turnoff. He's scouted the area out already, so he's got an idea. There's the house down to the south that looks like nobody's in it, although there's a car in front of it that he's managed to jerry-rig with a bomb.
Oh, no, I don't share that information.
Oh, you don't share it? Okay.
Is which house is
down there?
Which is the windowless house with the devil sacrifice?
That's the one up near the lake.
So because it looks like there's two up near the lake now.
Yeah, the first one is the abandoned farm that has it's now actually it's not abandoned. I'm sorry, it's burned down. It was the one that was burned down like in 1904 or whatever. Devil House. Oh. Actually, since Louis is since Matthias is what burned it did. It's actually there. That's for Matthias.
I'm sorry?
Well, it's spelled it the German way, and you're like, oh, you're Dutch, so it's devil. It looks like it should be the devil Huis, but I think that's still house.
Fair enough.
House.
All right, and then, right. So yeah, so there's that place, but then there's also that the empty, I won't say abandoned because it does look like it's been recently lived in. The empty place down to the south as well.
All right, so Killian, you've been scouting. What do you suggest? What's the best approach?
Basically, I'll give everybody the exact details of the entire area. And so this is the best escape route through here should we need to escape. Probably we should approach from the north, I think.
For the empty place or for the Devil House?
The Devil House.
Right. Is there any reason we can't just drive up to it?
No, not at all.
Well,
Other than being seen.
and the booby traps, but yeah.
Well, we don't know that.
Right.
Oh, the road is not booby trapped.
Does it look abandoned?
What the which one? Which place? The empty place? What the quote unquote empty place?
Does everything look abandoned? Are there any? Is
The
there
burnt
any
thing
ruins
is
in the area?
the ruins. And the,
Right. Yeah. The ruins are burned down. The Devil House is it's not open from. I mean, there's no windows or anything in it, so it's hard to see what's in there. But everything around it looks like it's burned out. Like I said, the farmhouse to the south does look lived in. There was a truck that was right near it. I don't know how much of that Brian's told you. Brian's decided to tell you, I should say. There's a truck next to it. It looks like it's pretty recent. Like the garden looks to be pretty well tended. There's no like weeds, sprouting out all over the place. The farmland around it looks pretty. It's pretty close to harvest time, so the farmland looks like it's partially. They brought some of the crops in. They wouldn't have like daily paper service, so there's not like papers, mounted on the, papers like stacked up on the front door or anything. But that doesn't mean anything.
well, milk.
Ooh, good point. There's a couple bottles there.
Empty bottles or filled with milk?
They are filled. Are you? So I assume you guys are down here now, like actually
Yeah,
looking at it. Okay.
We're at the place where we're supposed to meet Killian, I think. Right?
Right. I think you were meeting him out in between the two T intersections.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's just telling us about, like, I imagine we're just standing on next to the car looking at this map again while he sketches out these details for us.
Oh, okay. All right.
I basically draw them a map of everything, and then again point out that this would be the best way out. I put a few surprises in there, but I didn't elaborate.
So Lazar is pretty keen on looking at the burned down place.
Okay.
You guys,
Constantine thinks that it might be an idea just to go to the empty place first and just to ring the door or knock, as the case may be.
Sneak in.
Not just
All right.
knock on the door, see if someone's home.
Yeah. By the way, I mean there is like a little sign, out as you go out to the road that says Clancy. Just so we can call it something other than the empty place.
Okay.
All right. So what are you deciding to do then?
So maybe we can split up again. I don't know. It may be
Okay,
it may be intimidating if the four of us show up at this front door.
Right.
These people.
Yeah. Brian did indicate that he didn't see anybody in there, so it looked like it was completely abandoned. I mean, not abandoned, but empty.
just the vehicle, but I'm willing to stay back and like within rifle range and back you up.
Right. So, but did you look in the windows and everything?
Didn't see anything.
Okay. Well, they may just be out because there are some bottles. You said some milk bottles which they tend to take in much earlier in the day. So that would suggest that they've at least been out for a couple of days.
I'd be surprised that the milkman dropped too. I mean, like that they wouldn't raise an alarm if they were gone.
Well, I think they would just leave it for a few days before they actually sound the alarm. Like at one point, if the whole thing is covered with full milk bottles, they'll probably get suspicious. But so as long as we know that nothing's going to come out, no nasty surprises are going to spring from that house, and we don't really have any reason to assume that they will, because it's just a house. We may as well, as far as I'm concerned, we may as well make our way up to the ruins.
Seems
Everyone
reasonable
agrees?
to me.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's up to you. I mean, it
I really like the idea of knocking on the door. I just want
Well,
to
we could give that a try on the way as well.
all right.
Right.
So
Yeah, so we drive on a bit, I suppose, and then we pull into the drive of the Clancy place.
okay. All right, so yeah, I mean, I know Brian got close enough to where he rigged the thing there, but he never really got super duper close to the house. So Killian did notice like a kind of a funny smell coming from the house. He's just kind of figured that's just how English people smell, so it was cool.
Do I recognize any particular chemicals? Or
I was actually just about to say, because you've got the biology going. It smells kind of like it's kind of weird and out of place. Not so weird and out of place that I'm going to make you make a sanity roll, but it's weird and out of place that you'd smell this. But you almost think it smells kind of like a corpse plant.
like
What?
like the big flower?
Yeah, the corpse flower.
The
How
flower
would I-
that smells like corpses.
Yeah, how would I distinguish that from just a dead body?
Well, because you know biology, it's like that. But then there's a lot of like, there's the fact that it smells like corpses, but then also just the fact that it smells like plant life.
Okay, I'll take it.
Kind of in between
I
that.
will not question the GM. I will not question the GM.
Bear in mind that the GM does not have a doctorate in botany or.
No, that's fair. Okay, so I will say, I've smelled something like this before. There's a weird plant that, like, when it flowers, it stinks like a dead body to attract flies and other stuff to pollinate it. Let me not lecture. All I'm saying is, weird plant may be here.
All right, and who's got the highest like survival skill? So this would be the closest area for survival, probably forest. I don't think there's going to be a farm survival. That would be
urban
kind of a corny survival.
I
Right.
have
So
two.
if you don't, yeah, so it would be whatever your base score is minus 2, minimum of 1.
I have +3, so that will be minimum 1.
Right. Okay. All right. So whoever's got the highest score among you, go ahead and make a survival check
I've got a 1 as well.
to
but
notice.
I'm sorry, I
Who
thought
wants-
we were all rolling. My bad.
So 1. So actually, Louis already rolled, so that's too late. Yeah, 1's still good enough to get some stuff. So you actually you out of the corner of your eye, you see like on the edge of the farm, kind of where it goes back into the forest, you see just what looks like a medium-sized dog staring back at you. It's kind of keeping its distance.
Okay, I'm just quietly pointing it out to the others.
Damn it, it's too far for blue lightning.
Is it a pointer setter?
I'm saying, Lazar, I don't think the dog is a Nazi. Just to head off any trouble.
Is that a Sherman Shepherd?
Is it Alsatian? All right.
Okay, so apparently the Clancys are not here, but they left their dog, which is...
Is it something that looks like a
Weird.
dog, or is it actually a dog?
I mean, it's kind of far away, and it's keeping its distance from you. I mean, it wasn't the easiest thing to...
Okay.
Does it slobber, smoke, and burn? That is a no. Although we can say yes.
I do
'Cause
not want
you said
narrative
it.
control on this.
Okay.
Okay, so
It,
yeah, I don't like dogs.
It sees you and bays, if that helps at all.
Oh, well, they do say that baying dogs don't bite, but
Well, Val,
Well-
being overconfident, will walk towards the dog. Here, Poochie
All
Poochie.
right. Yeah, I mean it looks. Hey, go and make an empathy roll, because dogs have feelings.
I've heard. Okay, +1. Did it show?
You're the only person getting closer to it. Yeah, I mean it looks scared. Like
Oh,
ears are
sorry.
back.
It just took some time to the first roll was should be the one that stands.
Okay, yeah. I mean either way, it's yeah. You're only using an empathy check on a dog. I mean it's not like the dog isn't exactly a master of hiding its emotions. Yeah, I mean it's. Oh, by the way, it looks like a beagle. Yeah, it looks it looks scared more than anything else.
So I'm gonna say pull out a survival. Everything is useful. To scrounge for any treat, snack, something that I might entice the dog with.
All right, yeah, go ahead and make a survival roll. Then.
And do I get the everything is useful +2 for scrounging?
Is that a stunt?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So yes,
Do I
you
need
do
to?
that.
No, I don't need to use a fate point for that, though. Do I?
No, you don't.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about stunts is that unless they say you have to use
So
a fate
that's a
point,
+4
you don't.
to make friends with a puppy.
+2, right? Oh, 4 overall.
Yeah.
So 6. Okay. So that was +2 if you're trying to make sure I'm figuring everything out right. That was +2 for survival plus another 2 for the
stunt.
Stun. Okay. All right. Yeah. So yeah, you find you turn around, kind of loop back to the house, find
Could just be the milk, if it's not
bag
rotten.
You check the milk. The milk does smell like it's maybe a bit off. It's been out there for a couple days.
Okay.
It's not like curdled, but it doesn't smell like the best thing you should be giving to an animal. You do find like some grain that might be used to maybe feed some of the livestock that are in a barn in the back. Actually, which dogs won't eat. That's good.
I'm
it's a
thinking
very hard sell to a dog. Here, have
Like,
some
God
grain.
damn it! Here, dog.
if they have any kind
Dog's
of
like,
compost of any sort, any kind of rubbish, whatever, there's got to be something in there that a dog will eat.
But
Especially,
if you're just trying to entice the dog, is
Yeah.
it simple to say that you find a really nice stick?
Or-
Dogs really like sticks.
a lot of dogs do.
Never been around a
Bring
dog,
me a
have you?
sandwich anyway.
I was, but I was presuming I'd already given that to you with consumption
Okay.
being the point.
And I'm
Not
sorry,
having my
John. I haven't been around a dog.
All I'm saying, listen, if it's, you said it was a hound, right? If it's something that smells bad to us, it's going to smell good to it. So a scrap of half-rotted meat from the garbage would be fine.
Yeah, there's like a couple day old leftovers
That'll do it.
that smell bad. That the dog would probably love.
Yep. So I will entice the dog to
Yeah.
my company.
That were sitting underneath like a trash can with like a the rock on top. Not that I don't think they have raccoons so much in England, but I'm sure they've got some kind
They
of
have badgers there.
animal.
And sweet God, those
Ooh.
drop bears have traveled.
You've heard about the thing in Britain with badgers, right?
The shooting them?
Yeah, there's some controversy with one of the guys from Queen, actually.
Brian May is a badger lover.
Yeah.
The only member of Queen that ever gets in the news anymore.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So you do find something that the dog's going to like. So yeah, take that back in front of the dog, place it down in front of the dog, and kind of back away. The dog, goes in and starts chowing down on the leftovers like it hasn't eaten anything in a couple days.
All right, so I guess I'd be moving on to rapport here with the intent of making friends, because dogs often will lead you to, their family.
Trying to think of rapport is the way to go, because you're like, well, dog, let's get into a nice conversation about your family. And
Sorry, I logged myself off. I would be aiming to get the dog to lead us to anything important to the dog.
right. I mean, you can now get close enough to the dog to, where, it's got a dog tag, by the way, around its neck that does indicate, in fact, that it's the Clancy's dog.
Okay.
I mean, otherwise, it doesn't look. It doesn't look like it wants to go anywhere near the farmhouse.
Okay.
It doesn't seem particularly interested in leading you any particular place, though.
At this point, Constantine has just kind of started fiddling with the front door lock with his lockpick.
Right. Yes. So you start to pick the lock, and after like 30 seconds, the door just opens on its own because it was never locked in the first place.
Oh, wow. That's good.
Very professional.
Okay.
When you do open the door, that smell that you guys notice gets quite a bit more powerful.
How does the dog react?
The door opens, the dog perks its ears up and runs back into the forest.
All right.
Okay, that's not a good sign.
We don't have any, I don't have any particular weapons aside from blue lightning, right? I mean, I didn't plan on bringing any weapons or anything like that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if you didn't plan on bringing anything, yeah. I think the other guys have like,
Yeah, Constantine, this is the point where Constantine retrieves a Sten gun from his coat and folds out the gun.
Okay.
I've got my rifle at ready.
I think I'm looking for a tire iron.
Yeah, there may be one attached to that, one next to that truck over there.
Maybe
Sorry,
one
check out the
inside.
truck. I'll start towards the truck. And actually, no, I would look in our car.
Okay.
Easier access.
How close is the car parked to the truck?
I mean, we pulled up to where you would normally get out of the car, so I'm guessing it's pretty close.
Guys, I just let the bag out here. Yeah, I left a little surprise under that truck and out there in the woods just in case we need it later.
And when you say little surprise, you mean?
He's like,
the car
"A
could
little
probably
surprise."
take out the house.
Okay. Well, all right then. Well, so
We might need it as a distraction. We might need it as an escape route.
okay. So is it maybe a plan to move our car back just a little bit, just in case? Which is what Constantine goes and does.
So back at the at the intersection.
Yeah, I will just
Have the little red line there that says "boom boom truck."
just a ways away from that.
So the purple box might be where we are. Our car is, I mean.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
I mean,
Maybe a bit further back, as he said, that it will take out the house when it goes.
Fair.
It's probably overkill, but for a military operation, that would be kind of standard, wouldn't it? You know.
Well, plus you haven't really gotten to blow anything up yet.
Yeah, that
so.
too.
Yeah, I do remember when I was in the army, we would regularly blow up pieces of our own countryside.
Excuse me, Schlock mercenary. I can't remember the rule number, but if you're not willing to shell your own position, you're not willing to win.
That's literally a part of like Dutch, the Dutch army, though. Isn't it?
Pretty much, yeah.
You're not blowing yourself; you're flooding yourself.
Yeah, they're more about flooding.
Because we have a similar kind of saying, which is if you're not willing to flood your own land, the French are going to get you.
Man. All right. So you got your car parked way up there. That's okay.
Yeah, and Constantine makes his way back.
Okay.
He's still sullen.
Does he have another mode?
Not during this particular operation, no.
You're like walking back. Boy, I sure hope that magician was around so you could do a card trick for us.
A homicidal maniac, a small child who makes blue light noise, a magician who drops coins, and a man who likes to blow up farmhouses.
Well,
Professional.
yeah, just Constantine's kind of mood right now is that up to this point, he thought, oh, at least Killian seems sane.
Even if he does sound a little bit like a Nazi. Okay, so you're back. I assume that you're back up there. All right, so what are you going to do?
So, yeah, we may want to go in here, unless anyone has any objections. Not thrilled about the idea.
Is there a back door, windows we can look in, anything like that? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, there's windows all around the house. There is, I mean, if you're scouting around the house, there is, the main door in the front, and then there is a back door that looks like it, leads to the kitchen.
All right, well, I would attempt to be stealthy while doing that, and just circle the house looking for any obvious signs of, death, dismemberment, mayhem.
All right, yeah, go ahead and make a stealth roll then first.
The front door is open, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, the door is open.
part of my concern.
Okay, yeah, you are not being detected. The dog has no idea where you are.
Success.
But yeah, I mean, otherwise, there is the back, the back door. It just doesn't look like anybody's been out here. The corpse flower smell is pretty strong.
Would tradecraft alert, the +3 tradecraft alert me to anything untoward, like somebody breaking in or something like that?
Yeah, it doesn't look to be, and Louis, by the way, would see that kind of thing too because he's got a +4.
Right.
And yeah, so I mean, neither one of you. I mean, it doesn't look like the house has been burglarized or, anybody's. I assume that now you guys are walking in the front door while Val's sneaking around the side. You guys going in the front. It doesn't look like the place has been tossed or anything. It just looks like. Yeah. In fact, you step in the front. There's like a false hallway with a dining room and a living room next to it, and just living room's got a couch, a couple chairs, and a bookshelf with a bunch of books in it. In the dining room, there's a table, some chairs, cabinet. There are a whole bunch of pictures of Jesus.
Anything that looks like it might hold valuables that Lazar might appropriate?
Yeah, there's like a bunch of cheap little religious crap in the living room. I mean, the English are mostly Episcopalianism, supposed to be kind of an austere religion, but they still have various boring pictures of saints and stuff. Not saints. That would be Catholicism. That's not at all what they have.
So nothing that looks like it might hold money or valuables.
Not in either of those rooms, no. There's a door out to the left, and then there's another door that seems to lead out to the kitchen.
And
as well.
The kitchen was the direction that the smell got stronger as you got closer to the kitchen, right?
Well, Val noticed that when he went around the back of the house, the smell was pretty strong. I don't know that your character would necessarily have noticed that.
Okay, is that smell getting stronger as we are moving into the house?
As you move into the house, generally it is getting stronger. It's hard to pinpoint like an exact location of its origin, though.
All right. Well, as we move, anyway, Constantine keeps his stand on his hip, ready to spray if needed.
Sure.
So I guess we, I don't know, move further into the house.
All right. And just to this isn't a hard roll to make, but I do want to make sure that we make it since you're saying that you're doing it for the sake of creating an aspect. Go ahead and Go ahead and make a soldier roll, Matthias.
Oh wow, you're a bad soldier.
Wow, yeah. So you managed to jam your gun while you're trying to load in the cartridge to give yourself enough ammo to give yourself a good burst round.
Oh, fantastic.
Um,
Yeah,
so
I'll obviously pause and try to unjam the gun.
right. Yeah, I mean, so you unjam it, but yeah, I was trying to create something where you could use the advantage of the burst, but yeah, so you can use it. It's just the fact that it's a bit unreliable is kind of canceling out the effects of the burst at the moment. Good thing you didn't use it on those Nazis.
Is this something?
Like I think, but I'm not quite getting like is my gun fucked now or
No, I mean it
You just don't have an
yeah, it's-
advantage.
right.
okay, fair
You were
enough.
preparing an advantage, but then it didn't happen.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, you could actually. I mean, that is a really bad. You could. We don't have anything on the table, but you could spend a fate point and invoke something like one of your personal aspects or one of the aspects that we've this well-tended farmland that you guys are putting in. Those are basically aspects. If you can find a way to invoke that, you can use that to re-roll. I mentioned that usually.
Yeah, no, I can't be asked.
Okay. Yeah, I'll tell you. I mean, the roll to get the gun working properly in burst is only a +0. So
Well, when we get together again, I can fix it.
all right. And it's there. I mean, you can clear the jam out. It's just not.
No extras.
You may not want to fire a big burst because it might jam again.
Okay, fair
Um,
enough.
Can I use my survival in any way to figure out where the danger might come from?
Yeah, I mean, you could use it as a notice. Basically, it is. You're not in a. This isn't like the urban survival situation, so it's just your non-specialized survival.
Right.
But sure,
Okay. So do I roll?
yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Again, I mean, it's kind of there. There really isn't like like any one place where you can say, oh yeah, that's where everything comes from, which is kind of meaningful, maybe in and of itself, if you can take anything away from that.
The whole house is haunted.
It's a single-story house.
Can I use my wait? I have an aspect.
Efforts
I
were
know,
made to.
that the Jewish folklore kind of thing. That aspect. Is it giving me any heebie-jeebies that I might be?
Heebie-jeebies.
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 So yeah. So all right. Yeah. Go ahead and spend a fate point.
All right.
By the way, the house is one story. Sorry.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, it's an A-frame or A-frame. This is not an A-frame, but it's got the regular pitch on the top, whatever that's called. I'm not a houseologist. But yeah, it's shaped. There is for sure an attic up top. The smell does not smell like it's coming from above. It's just kind of all over the place.
Okay, well, if there's a thatch roof or something like that, I should be able to scale up there and come in from above.
Yeah, it's a regular. We're too far north for thatch. It's a regular wooden roof.
Okay, so no access from the roof.
Right. I mean, unless you were to want to climb up top and
I'm not hacking a hole in
punch
it when
you
there's
or-
men with machine guns.
Right.
So as we move in, I probably should have said, obviously, Constantine has his investigating ears and eyes on,
Okay.
trying to, see what he can see as he goes.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, go ahead and make your investigate roll then. Yeah. Okay, that's good, and that's a bit higher. Are you trying to get onto the roof, Julian? Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, were you actually trying to get onto the roof?
No, I was wondering if, as Killian had mentioned, if there is a root cellar or something like it, and if there is, there would usually be exterior access.
Yeah, there's not really. I mean, there's no. Yeah, there's not a root cellar. I mean, this. York County is not known for its tornadoes, so
no, a root cellar is for storage, for storing roots, right. Literally, for storing things over the winter, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Anglophiles in here, but I don't think English houses generally have big basements.
You're wrong.
That's more of an American thing.
English farmhouses.
Okay.
Yeah, and a root cellar is definitely not a basement in any traditional sense.
Okay.
It's a dirt dugout around so that you can keep things cool over the summer, for example, that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. I guess, yeah, in that case, yeah, there would definitely be one here. Sorry. Sure, yeah, there is a root cellar here.
Okay, so is that access like at the side or opposite the front door where those guys were going in?
It probably, yeah, it's going to be at the side of the house.
Okay, so I'm going to scamper around and say, I'm going underneath into the root cellar. Don't shoot me.
All right. You're calling in from a window.
Or I'll just run around to the front door and just say, I'm going in the root cellar. Don't shoot me.
Okay. All right.
Yes,
so, yeah. So you go down there and you meet Cthulhu. The end.
And a good game was had by all.
So you guys should know not to go into cellars because that's where Cthulhu lives. So yeah, so you go in there. Yeah, go ahead and make a survival roll. Just to notice.
+2.
Yeah, so you go in and I mean, if anything, the smell's not as strong down here. It smells of various herbs and.
Is it Kentucky Fried Chicken?
Right. Yeah. It's 8 herbs and spices.
Just beets.
Oh Jesus. Yeah, you'd know you were in Cthulhu's lair if there were beets down here, but no, there are not.
I like beets. Okay, moving on.
Everybody does.
Did I notice anything with my notice thing?
Oh, yeah. So you've got a really good notice. So you're searching around the first few rooms without going any further. When you go right up to the door that leads to the family room, the door that leads there, the smell gets a lot stronger when you're right near that door.
Okay, I think there may be something in the lounge. I say to Killian and Lazar, gesturing towards the door that permeates this very unpleasant smell.
Is it a Nazi?
It smells like some of the more unwashed members of the Nazi Party.
If they were
dead.
Yeah, right. You can, and by the way, yes, Valentine, you should be able to hear where they're going from the floorboards.
Okay.
I mean, it's not exactly, they didn't exactly equip the place with singing floorboards, but at the same time,
I've been in old
I don't imagine
where,
they're trying to sneak.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to tell where people are walking.
Right. So I'm sorry, Matthias, what were you doing?
I was just alerting the others to.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's very strong on the other side of the door.
Okay, so yeah, I guess Constantine opens it.
All right, and a vampire. No, I'm kidding. Okay, yeah. So from here, yeah, there's a table. There's some bookshelves. One of the tables there's some old, not that old, but slightly out of date, like handwriting books. The smell's really, really strong, and there's a bathroom that's got like a couple of towels placed up against it that nonetheless is seeping water out, and that seems to be the source of the smell.
Okay, so yeah, this is closed and there's water coming in under the doors, or?
Yeah, I mean the floor is basically the carpet is soaked with whatever's coming out of the bath, and that seems to be the source of the smell. I mean, you're not putting your nose down against the carpet or anything because it's very gross, but it's there.
I am not a carpet sniffer.
Wow.
Rug muncher, carpet sniffer, whatever.
No comment.
So, yeah, what we're smelling here is probably behind that door over there.
So I'm hoping that any detection that I might do about other movement would happen before they try to open that door.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you're hearing nothing. I mean, you hear the folks above you in the family room.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay. Well, I'm coming upstairs to join them.
Are there keyholes in that bathroom door?
Yeah, it's just a regular bathroom door. It's not really locked, or there's not a lock mechanism so much. I mean, there's like I said, there are towels up against the floor to try to looks like maybe apparently stop the flow of water.
Right.
It's not working.
But
so
no keyholes to peek through.
Yeah, not really, unfortunately. I mean, you could, thinking about it, yeah, those towels are covering the cracks, so you'd have to take out the towel to look underneath it.
Oh, okay, no, that doesn't sound very appealing.
Sounds like Lazar is gonna have to break the door down.
Or I could just pick the lock.
You could break the door.
Yeah, we can see.
There's
if
no
it's
lock on the
locked.
door.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no keyhole to look through, so if there's a lock on the door, then it was one of those that's locked from the inside.
Well, go ahead, Lazar. Give it a go.
You try opening it?
No, I'm just trying to redirect his destructive tendencies.
That'd be a physique roll or a fight roll?
Are you gonna just break the door down? All right.
A considine takes
yeah,
a bit of distance as well.
That's
Yeah,
that would be
rifle
physique.
at the ready.
What was my physique again? Let me see. 2. Okay.
Oh, and yeah, there wasn't. I mean, the carpet appears to have taken, I guess, most of the
Fluid?
fluid. Yeah, the leak down.
Ew.
We kick the door down, and what we find is an overflowing bath and like a big tub of corpse plant flower gel.
Right.
For the suave
Yay!
haircut, corpse plant flower gel. Makes your
And there's a
beard
Nazi in there
glow.
showering. He's like, "What are you doing?
Was ist
You're here
das?
for the corpse. If you are here for the corpse plant flower gel, then I am Mickey Mouse."
Oh, dear.
No, actually, so what is in there is a lot of fun, though. All right, so yeah, there is just terrible smell is the first thing that comes wafting out. So yeah, on the floor, it's a pretty big bath. There's a bath, there's a toilet, there's room for a lot of stuff here. There are also 4 skeletons on the ground with bits and pieces of flesh still clinging to them. And then wrapped around the bones, there's what look like pinkish vines, and then lumps in the rib cages as well of the skeletons. Yeah, they're really gross. In fact, everybody make a sanity roll at against +1.
Am I there yet?
This is a
Sanity was
will?
willpower, right?
This is will roll, right?
Yes. Yeah, will with the caveat that Brian's rolling at a -1.
So that'll be a 4 then instead of a 5.
Okay.
And
So 4 still makes it. Oh man, Lazar's he's having the worst time with this stuff.
have I made it there yet?
Yeah, you're up there too. You come up just in time to see the door
Okay,
open.
so I have a will of...
Will.
Is my effective will still 1?
Yeah, it's still right until you get the good night's sleep.
Okay. Ooh,
Nice.
You still
lucky.
you still succeeded with style, so that's good. All right, so Lazar, you lost another sanity.
Yay!
This explains so much.
And then Louis, you made the roll, but not with style, so your effective will also drops by 1.
All right.
because you're a little shaken by this yourself. But yeah, it looks pretty freaking nasty.
So this is not just seeing dead bodies, bearing in mind that Val watched his father and 6 other men gunned down in front of him when he was 5.
No, this is a very particular thing where you're looking at. You don't know how the flesh has been taken off of those skeletons, but it's not sitting on them right now. And yeah, the between that and the fleshy lumps and the rib cages and all that, it's not the most appetizing thing in the world.
All right then.
Can I make a lore roll to see if I'm coming up with anything?
Oh yeah, as a matter of fact, you've got your straight up lore. Yeah, this. In fact, yeah, this is another thing in that realm of things that are perhaps better left unknown. So yeah, your biology, you haven't really heard of anything that would be causing this, like in the natural world. So you're kind of lucky. Brian, go ahead and make another sanity roll against +2.
Oh dear.
So I'm actually at +3. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So +2. So yeah, you just lost a sanity point.
What does that
You want to check that in your
do?
character sheet. So, I mean, basically, you only get so many sanity points until your character goes crazy and you can't play them anymore.
It seems like it's more of an HP than the other stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I mean, basically, I mean, in the world, I don't want to give away like too much of what makes Cthulhu Cthulhu, because I think you probably want to have the fun for yourselves. But I mean, as you kind of discover more things that are, happening in the world, like you learn more and more that like the world around you isn't really as it seems. And so you start to behave in a manner that most people would think of as insane.
Right.
Until finally you kind of crack and either you can't take it anymore and maybe you kill yourself, or else you go megalomaniacal and try to rule the world, or whatever. There's a number of different ways that can play out.
It is a bit of a style where the happy endings are rather thin on the ground, isn't it?
Fair.
Right.
Can sanity be recovered in any way?
Yes, yeah. So basically, 2 weeks of rest and relaxation get you a sanity point back. 1 sanity point. You can also spend a week in an asylum and get an insanity point back that way. Although that might not be the easiest thing to do in,
Yeah.
England generally.
During the war. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Right.
Thank you.
Or easily get out of
Tradecraft.
Right. And then you'll notice too there are different and sorry, I just want to make sure that everybody's on the same page on this. There are different tiers. Yeah, so like if you drop below you drop below the top one, then
you go from
there's slight differences.
into disturbed and then into unhinged.
Right. Yeah, the other limit is that nobody has any mythos skill yet, but you can get mythos skill, but your mythos skill is limited by like how sane you are. So you only know so much mythos skill while you're of sound mind, which is why you can't take that up front.
Fair.
So yeah. So that's just basically how that works. So it's something to kind of try to avoid, but it is also kind of fun to invoke. So you've hi Mika.
Reaching.
Hi.
I'm nearing the end of my time too. I've
Okay.
got until say 6:30. Well, like 25 minutes.
Right.
Okay. That'll work. Okay, so right, so we anyway, so I just made Brian take off the sanity for so now I've got to tell him what happened there.
Sorry.
Right, so basically, so you have heard this old lore talking about the best comparison you can think of are like plant zombies, like these plants that inhabit the souls of or the bodies of humans and attack them. It isn't something that you paid a lot of attention to when your grandfather talked about it, but the stuff that he described, the pinkish vines and the skeletons with still bits and pieces of flesh clinging to them, that sounds exactly like what your grandfather talked about back in the day.
Now something Gramps used to talk about is actually one of my aspects. Could I have used that in this case to have not lost that sanity point?
Actually, no, because you actually can't use aspects against
That's
sanity.
right. Okay, cool. I explained to the rest of the group here, oh yeah, Gramps used to talk about this all the time. Of course, you guys, again, can't really understand what I'm saying half the time anyway, but he called this steelwork, I don't know, some Pennsylvania Dutch word for plants and some.
Plants and growing
Plants
man.
and growing man.
I imagine like what happened is like you went in there and you're like, oh God, no. You're like standing standing next to the table, like trying to put your thoughts back together, and people are like, what's going on, man? And then you explain it.
Yeah, and I'm going to immediately draw a protection hex symbol on the floor around us, not around us, rather, but around this body, these remains.
All right. Yeah, that is really going to be hard to hit because you don't. I mean, what you remember. Well, yeah. I mean, you can go ahead and try it, and we can see how well it works. So that would be a lore roll to do something that has any effect.
The plant zombies promptly wake up.
Yeah, that's right. So the +3. Yeah, I'm going to tell you it's Yeah, I mean you're trying to, in essence, kind of cast a spell they don't really know, just kind of based on what you knew from your childhood. It's going to be about a +8 to hit, like really, really hard.
3.
So, I mean, you could plow through a whole bunch of fate points if you really want to do that.
I don't.
Okay. So you start to do that. I mean, it does seem to. I mean, these things weren't moving at all when you got in there. That was the good news. But they do kind of start to move and get up while you're sorry, two things at once. While you're drawing that circle, and that's kind of maybe what causes you to stop drawing it.
Yeah, it was kind of like almost like an exorcism kind of ritual, and then as soon as I see that I'm not really knowing what I'm doing, I'm going to back off and say maybe this is perhaps best left alone.
Yeah, so you're like, yeah, guys, yeah. So they're like slowly standing up on the skeletons.
Yeah, at this point, Constantine's just swearing under his breath in Dutch, and there's lots of names of diseases in there.
All right. Okay, so you're gonna run and try and scrounge something from the kitchen. Okay. I'll let you do that, but then as soon as we do that, it's gonna be time to start engaging in the old combat. So by the way, actually seeing these guys go up, I feel like Brian kind of already saw it coming, which is why he got to roll that. So everybody else, though, make a sanity roll against +2.
Surprise.
So I just roll my will again, with the
Right.
+1.
Although, yeah, the -1 or whatever, yeah.
Sorry, +1 instead of +2. Ooh.
Right.
Oh, I had a minus
Bizarre.
thingy as well, right? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think.
Did
Yeah.
mine.
All right, so Artem, so you made it by 1. So did you, Louis. So both of you
God.
only lose another will for the purposes of another sanity roll. And Valentine, yeah, you lost a sanity point of sanity.
So is it -1 for effective will for me?
Right.
And do I lose another effective will?
No, you just lose the sanity in this case.
Okay, so I was at -1 effective will. I'm now at -2.
Yeah, so you are. Yeah.
Yikes.
Actually, you know what? There might. Let me double check to make sure there's not an effect on that. I'm sorry. No, it just makes it really, really hard for you to make rolls in the future.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, you're there. You're like really shaken. Like you're at the point where like if you see a spider walk across your
So
somebody's
does,
chest,
so
you're
does
probably
it
gonna
mean,
freak out.
does that actually persist as well? Because then, you know, even if you half make this roll, you'd be like a much more definite a disadvantage in the future.
I mean, it persists, but you know, once you get like a good night's sleep, then it goes away.
All right.
The sanity losses stay, which is why, you know, it's still a success.
Right.
But yeah, the otherwise though, I mean, and I say a good night's sleep, like theoretically, if you were to sleep and then like whatever caused you to lose sanity is like giving you nightmares all night, then yeah, you're not gonna get it back. But under normal circumstances, your will goes back to normal after that.
All right.
Okay, so all right, so go ahead and make a. I guess that would be the survival roll with the scrounge thing on
useful.
it. Right.
Okay.
Otherwise,
Oh my goodness.
wow. Yeah, you could invoke something to re-roll if you wanted. I mean, generally speaking, if you get a lower than a -2, then that's when re-rolls are good.
Well, so I mean, I ended up with a 1. So if I invoke something, that would be like morbid ingenuity, maybe morbid ingenuity in terms of. I'm trying to think about how I would do that because I want to. I mean, it would be those 3 things: kill it, weaponize it, get a sample, so I can do the first 2.
Right. Yeah, I mean, just you know, you're just kind of in desperation. Maybe you're just, oh man, I really, really need a sample of this crap, and you're.
I mean,
initially, like
first thing is definitely
the one should be enough. The one by itself should be enough that it's not that hard to find. Like,
well,
oil.
that's the primary goal here.
Right. So you should be able to find oil just with what you've got.
Okay.
You know, if you're trying to find something like a mason jar, it's August, everything's filled.
I'm okay
preserves.
with having the oil and using whatever the oil came in, or finding something after.
Okay. All right. All right. So yeah. So you will definitely get to do that. Okay. So yeah, these guys are pretty good. All right. So okay. So what's everybody's survival?
+3 for me.
1.
Okay.
+1.
All right. +1. Okay. Yeah. These guys are going to be are going to be +2 apiece. So, and actually, you know what? I get another. Sorry, one moment. I get another fate point that I can spend.
Did you say fate point or hate point?
Yeah, I guess if I'm the GM, I get a hate point. All right, so yeah, there are 4 of these guys.
No, John, it's your tirades against the Jews that get you the hate points.
We are playing World War II. Okay, so all right. Yeah, these are the family members that are now plant zombie things.
Poor Judith.
And yeah, so they're all at +2, so that means that Artem gets to move first.
Yay!
What are you doing?
I'm going to hit them with a rifle.
You gonna shoot him, or
No, I
I mean you're close enough to where you can.
think I'm going to club him.
Okay. He's like using that rifle as a club.
Again.
Right there.
Sorry?
Aren't I like right there in front of the thing because I was drawing that circle?
Yeah, you kind of got out as they were getting up, so Artem's, you're at a point where you guys can, wait for
God
them to come out, so you
damn
don't have
it.
like that as necessarily as a choke
I
point.
just want to make sure I'm not in his way.
Right.
That's wise. That is wise.
Yeah, these guys. Sorry, let me pose by that. And sorry, who was it that you're bashing?
Where's the lay of the
Fred's
land?
Fred's the big one. The dad.
Okay.
Then there's Carolyn, and then Isaiah and Judith are the kids. They've
Whoever looks
smaller
bigger, so I guess
skeletons.
Fred.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you went at him. Looks like you did nail him for. Actually, 1 plus your weapon is 2. So okay, let me.
Is this just not updating? I'm not seeing any. Oh, there you go. Okay.
It took a long time for my rolls to show up for me too.
Yeah, sometimes it takes forever for them to show. Okay, so yeah, so you nail him with it, like crack a couple ribs, but it's a zombie, doesn't care about cracked ribs. Yeah, so that brings up so everybody's got 2 then. Not everybody else has 2. Who has 2?
I do.
Okay, your move then.
So I'm back from the kitchen with the oil.
Yes, yeah, and Killian, you and Louie have 1s.
Ones.
Okay, so I will attempt to cover as many of them in oil as I can in a spray.
Okay.
And I'm presuming that setting it off using blue lightning would be a separate action.
Right, that would be a separate action, but that's actually a good thing to kind of invoke up front. Is spraying the oil at them. Trying to think what skill that would be.
Is that just fight?
Yes, sure. Yeah, we can do fight against that.
Okay, I just have a +1 for fight, but I mean.
Okay, yeah, and you're opposing a straight up +1 since I'm not going to roll individually for each person.
Okay. 0.
Right. So yeah, again, you can invoke fate points if you want to create that advantage.
So I think this is Gangster Child, where he's been in a lot of scraps and a lot of dangerous situations that have been pretty terrible, especially against big, nasty people who are a lot bigger than him. So
Okay.
he's familiar, even if he's not familiar with zombies, familiar with being pursued by gangsters and similar.
Okay, and so like when you're doing that, you're like, you just like you're kind of slipping and it's kind of slipping out of your hands because it's oil and it's slippery. But then you're like, oh geez, if I don't do this, then we're all going to die.
So
And,
do I roll again or?
You can re-roll with a +1. You're better off just using a fate point to add 2 to the roll.
Then shall
So
it be?
yeah, go ahead and deal a card out of your hand
right,
then
yes.
to denote that you've done that, and then that gives the free invoke, which by the way anybody on the team can use. You don't.
Oh, they're covered in oil?
You aren't.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, a little +2 to future rolls that could be perceived a number of ways. Okay, so that was you. Now unfortunately it is their moves. Okay, so Fred was being attacked by Lazar, so Fred's going straight back at Lazar.
So what's just before we really get into the fighting, I mean, as I've got the layout in my head, like we had the lounge and then the bathroom was a separate room off the lounge, right? And Lazar went to kick that in. Killian then went closer towards the bathroom to do his protected circle thing. Was that actually in the bathroom or still in the lounge?
Yeah, he would have maybe started in the bathroom, and then like once they started getting up, he's like, "Nope, I got nothing to do with this," and he ran back, which allowed the zombies to start to walk out of the of the bathroom.
Okay, so Lazar is at the door. Killian is in the lounge somewhere.
Yeah, I'd say the zombies are walking out of the door. Lazar's right next to him, and Killian, you, and Julian are all kind of maybe further back in the family room.
All right.
Okay, so right, so we've got these guys. Okay, so they're gonna go ahead and go at you. They are not exactly great at fighting, which is good news. Okay, so Fred's going. Oh, nice circle. So if Fred holds his skeleton hand out at you, and like a vine with a little sucker on the end kind of slides out of it and goes at you, Artem.
Okay.
So you want to
Athletics?
So that's athletics, yeah.
What athletics?
Whoops.
1.
Well, it's my first roll. That is what I meant. So, man, 3.
Oh boy.
That's not good. Yeah. That might be the kind of thing you want to use fate points.
Well, they're covered in oil.
So you want to use the free invoke, or you want to use a fate point on that?
I guess free invoke. Well, actually, no.
Right.
I'll use a fate point.
Okay. All right, so go ahead and deal your fate points. So that gets you... You are still... I got a 3, so you'd have to spend 2 rolls to tie.
So make another athletics roll?
No, well,
Or
if you want to re-roll, you can.
Oh, yeah.
So now you're up to a 1, basically. So you need another invoke in order to tie and avoid taking damage.
Or he could just use that fate point to reroll.
You could, but he got a -2 on the roll, which, you average getting a 0 on these rolls, so...
So, like, time-wise, John, because I'm thinking that, seeing that Lazar is about to get nailed, and, I've got the aspect as our cellmate. Can I self-compel that Constantine just kind of recklessly launches himself into the fray?
You have the option to do that and take the damage instead of him, if you'd like to do that. Unless Artem has another idea that he wants to do, since it's his defense.
I do have that grenade.
Well, remember that you're using it to defend at this point, so you've got to figure out how you'd use a grenade to defend against a zombie.
Oh boy.
But jamming it into his open mouth.
Not so much a defense, but...
Yeah, that sounds like something you'd maybe do on the offensive side.
Yeah, that's true.
If it's coming at you, I mean, warding someone off is not an offensive action.
What else is on the board?
I mean, covered in oil is basically the only thing. I mean, there's all this stuff. I mean, the full milk bottles out in the front. That doesn't. None of that counts.
Well, Artem, there's
in the
there's
room,
still a partial harvest out on the field, so if you can find some way to work that in.
No, in the room, let me go ahead and name off that stuff. I never wrote it down in here. So let's see. Family room. There's a table, bookshelves, the bookshelves filled with books. I can make up, I mean, if you want to invoke a situational aspect based on any of that, I can create that here. Let's say that the table is a rickety table. Then you've got the bookshelf filled with books. Then let's see.
Where am I? I'm at the door frame in the bathroom.
Yeah, well, you're maybe not in the bathroom, but you're like right outside of it.
Okay, so can I try and use my survival skill to slam the door shut?
It's not your move. You're just defending. So
Okay.
you're looking for ways to justify how your character dodges out of the way of the guys.
Yeah, I'm out of ideas. I don't really have anything.
Can you just block it with the gun? I mean, does it have a bayonet?
I mean, that's basically
That's my
that's what
athletics roll. That's what I. Yeah.
Right.
No, I don't really
Right.
have.
Okay. All right. So you're taking 2 stress then.
Alrighty.
If you took stress before,
Yeah, I have
remember
stunned
that
as
it's
well
gone.
as my.
I think that ended at the end of
Yeah,
the scene.
that was the minor consequence. That doesn't go away until a good night's sleep. So you do still have that, but you don't have I mean, right now you should have a 1 stress box and a 2 stress box, so you should just be able to use your 2 stress box, and you're still
Okay.
good. You don't have to take another consequence. Okay, so that's the first guy. Now Carolyn in the city is gonna. Actually, I guess Brian would probably be the next closest person. So
That's a terrible
go and make
sitcom.
Yes, it is. Go and make your. Oh, you don't have to make that good of a roll, fortunately, Brian.
I'm sorry, what am I rolling?
Athletics.
Athletics.
Oh man! Wow, we are not rolling well. So yeah. So once again, like Artem, you can spend fate points.
Yeah, I'll go with the timing is everything.
Oh yeah. Hey, nice. Okay, so go ahead.
That's a really good
do-
dodging aspect, isn't it?
Yeah.
Actually, it is. Yeah. So okay, so you tied. So that means that he gets a boost on you. But yeah, so I'll write that in next to you. Evaded the sucker.
How do I play that card?
You click on it.
I think you just
drag
click on
it
it.
into the board.
The number above my
Yeah.
my cam?
Yeah. Yeah, just click on the cards, like the little card thing.
Oh, okay. It's such a small laptop here that
No worries.
got it.
There we go. Okay, so all right, so that's that. Okay, so you've played that, so that's tied it. I added a little boost that you got. That brings up Isaiah, who's gonna walk out into the room and go after you, Julian, in the purpose of fairness. So it's athletics.
Yeah, just have plus
Again,
one.
he's doing the same thing. He's trying to hit you with it. Yeah, you are probably pretty okay.
Okay. Let's see.
Although I might spend a fate point myself. Yeah, well, you know what? Yeah, he's a blood-sucking zombie. That is an aspect.
Oh, he is a Yorkshireman, so they are famously stubborn.
All right, so I'm gonna
So,
re-roll.
Can I use an aspect as well if I can figure something out?
Yeah, you don't really need to because I lost the roll again.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were. Okay.
Yeah, you see, I rolled like a -4.
Okay,
so
and then you rolled
I
it.
spent a fate point to re-roll. Yeah,
I'm sorry. I thought you were just increasing it. Gotcha.
no worries. And then Constantine, he's going out. Judith, the little girl's going after you, which is probably insulting.
Tell
but
me.
That's what's happening.
I like
So,
how honest
beat
they're
a
being
zero.
one-on-one. Very nice.
It's very convenient.
This is very sporting zombies. Okay, so yeah, I've got martial artist, which is one of my stunts.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
which means
that's
that
right.
I can use fight in place of athletics to dodge and block and block.
Right.
So I'm gonna roll
Yeah.
that. That should do it.
Oh yeah. I would say you made that. All right. So I think that means it is your and Brian's move. Whoever wants to go.
Sure.
Go ahead, Brian.
Okay. Now, how much gun fu can I get away with in one action here?
And you can basically use it to attack somebody or to create an advantage.
Can I describe the move that I'm doing?
Sure.
It's I'm gonna try to run straight towards one of the zombies, whichever one tried to attack me, slide in between its legs, come up from behind, and shoot in the back of the head with the rifle. As the camera slowly pans around.
Now, how do you avoid getting your wires tangled with the zombie's legs?
Yeah, so I mean that is a fight roll, and so I mean, gun fu gives you what is that? You can use shoot instead of fight.
Yeah, that's my stunt.
Okay. All right. Okay. So yeah. So go ahead and Go ahead and roll with that with shoot. That works for me. And
Oh.
that's right. And you're going at the person who attacked you was Carolyn. Yeah, that is not the great. Oh, hey, you still beat the roll. And you're shooting with a gun. That's a rifle, so that's a weapon 2. No, weapon 1. Weapon 2 would be like a flamethrower. So that is 2 damage, and that was Carolyn. So those are the bigger zombies. So those two, the ones that you happen to have fought, are the ones that are bigger and perhaps harder to take down. But yeah, that worked. Unless you want to, I mean, I can, if you want to, invoke an aspect and do more damage, you can certainly do that as well.
Yeah, actually, I would like to do that. Play that.
What are you going to use?
I'm going to go with timing is everything again.
Okay.
It really works well. It's a good aspect.
Okay.
It is a really convenient aspect. That's very well. It goes for everything, doesn't it?
Well, at least for fighting. I don't know how well it would work for like rapport, but okay, so yeah, you just shot.
Then, sir, you have never told a joke.
That's a good.
Yeah, that would describe Slick
you know
accurately.
Me. Damn it.
Knock knock. Who's the timing?
All right, so yeah, you just nailed him. Nailed Carolyn. Carolyn is still up, but is not. No longer has a crotch.
I like how he paints a picture with words.
Really and truly.
All right, and Constantine.
Well, I think I'm thinking I want to try something, but I don't know if you'll go for it, because Constantine has the aspect, and I've gone for these shitty abstract aspects that are terribly hard to evoke. The more balls I throw in the air, the better I look. Now, what I'm thinking is that Constantine wants to show off a little. So what I want to do is he wants to use his right hand with like the stun gun in it, and bring it up and try to shoot little Judith in the head. While with the other hand, he's taking his lighter from his pocket and he wants to flick it, and as he shoots, throw the lighter into the room.
Okay, so you're trying to maybe like add an
if you give me
advantage.
maybe some kind of disadvantage on the rolls to reflect the difficulty, but it would go with the...
Yeah, it's going to be -2 to hit with -2 to do either of those. So -2 to at the same time. So
yeah, no, I'll give it a go. I mean, it's probably going to go terribly wrong, but that's what the
But is
aspect
he
is
also
for.
compelling himself, or what's happening with the fate points?
well, so he can invoke that aspect.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
spending a fate
I'm
point.
invoking it to self-compel
Yeah.
my character to do something needlessly complicated that will probably go wrong.
Yeah, I don't know that I can. I mean, I see where you're coming from. We can see by giving. So normally, the way that works is I give you that aspect. I give you that fate point at the end of the fight. In this case, we're probably ending at the end of the fight, so it won't mean much. But you can definitely use your fate points on that, to increase the roll.
Yeah, that could be cool. I'll just do it.
So you could just be badass.
Yeah, that's good enough reason to do anything.
Badassery.
Yeah. All right, so let's try the first part too. Go ahead and shoot Judith in the face or the skull.
Yeah, that's the title of this.
By the way,
of this episode.
They're shoot Judith in the
Go ahead.
face.
Go into the
Shoot
crotch,
Judith
shoot
in the
Judith
face.
in the face.
And by the way, you defend against shoot rolls with survival, and so they don't have any of that. So yeah, you just shot her. That was the little one. So yeah, actually, so instead of shooting her in the face, I'm going to say that you shot her in the pink thing, and that's kind of in where the heart would be.
Oh, okay.
And blasted that.
I was afraid when you would
what
go
a
with that
relief.
shoot her in the pink thing.
Wow.
Yeah, that could have gone wrong.
I
No,
wasn't even
then
on my
Carolyn
mind.
will already be down.
There's a band called the Amazing Pink Things. Or anyway, okay, so that was number one worked just fine, even with your -2. Now, okay, then you're wanting to basically set everybody on fire, which is basically creating an advantage that other people can then invoke. So go ahead. That is throwing athletics.
Athletics, right? I don't have that. Okay. It goes.
So yeah, it's going to be a -2 to the roll then.
Oh, fuck it hell.
And you're opposing 0. So yeah, you missed it by 3. So you could invoke 2 aspects with fate points to bump it up.
Oh, right.
In fact,
so yeah, maybe that's where I can do the more balls I throw in the air, the better I look.
exactly. So that's one of them.
And Christ, the other one.
And then, I mean, you've got a free aspect on covered in oil.
Oh yeah, no, that's the one. That makes sense.
There you go. So now, instead of covered in oil, they are kind of
On fire.
evens out, on fire. In fact, if you wanted to, if you could find a third one, you get 2 free. You can succeed with style, and then you get instead of the 1 free invoke that somebody can use, they can use you get 2 free invokes.
Okay, so I need to find another aspect to tie into this. Okay, well, feel free to think along, guys.
I don't know what
I
your
mean, it can
aspects
be
are.
anything.
Okay,
Any one of yours. What's on the table too? Like you could say,
Well, there's like the
like
I'll,
in the-
I'll
in the
tell you
midst of it-
mine, which are just not very useful. I'm my high concept, which is an aspect as well, isn't it? Okay,
Right.
that's mercenary
Yes.
infiltrator / master of disguise. Not the fortunate son because the guy has some daddy issues, not particularly useful. The more balls I throw in the air, that's the one I use.
Right.
He is from a long line of spies, and he's Lazar's cellmate.
What about the books?
Yeah, so that was one of the other things that I was thinking. Like you could you could either say, invoke. So you're shooting, trying to figure this out. So you're shooting with the one hand, you cap Judith, and then with the other hand, you're chucking a lighter in. You miss the lighter, it bounces off the bookshelves.
I mean, there's a rickety table there as well, right? So one might presume that there would be, I don't know, a magazine or a book on the table, perhaps, which lights and was splattered with oil.
I think I've got one now. Is that Constantine? He hurls the lighter, and it's a Zippo lighter, so it's on, and he hurls it, but it just kind of lamely lands on top of the table and just lies there. It's still on, but it's just lying there. So, kind of as an afterthought, he just kicks to the side and kicks the one of the legs of this rickety table, and this thing just beautifully collapses in on itself, and the lighter just slides into the pool of oil.
That's awesome.
That's very nicely done.
Thank you.
I like that. Okay, so you got the 2 invokes on that. So that does actually, I think that's going to change that rickety table.
You think?
Yeah, I don't think it's a rickety table anymore.
It's a blazing inclined plane.
Right.
It's kindling now.
Burning 3-legged table. All right. So yeah, so that is definitely a thing. They're on fire. And that goes back to Lazar.
Oh wait, sorry. How many fate points did I blow on this?
Oh, 2.
So Fred is still up, and I'm gonna probably club him again.
Okay. Whack him with a club one more time. Okay. All right. Go ahead and make a fight roll then.
I'm gonna hit him very hard. Yay!
Yeah, that's wow. So yeah, you don't even need to invoke anything. Well, actually, so you use the stress, so still has that, and yeah, you know what, man, yeah, that is enough to take Fred down.
Down goes Fred.
Nice.
Down goes Frazier.
Now, how does that
Fred
work
is
with the
last.
on fire thing anyway? Because are they taking damage from that, or?
Not per se, but once you hit them again, you can say, oh, and they're on fire, so they blah blah, and that
Okay.
works as a free invoke against them. But I mean, in Artem's case, he made that roll so easily that he doesn't even need to invoke anything. So yeah, so he just clocked the dude in the head again. He's burning, but you just actually, what I'm saying, the head. They're zombies. You don't hit them in the head. They're plant zombies, rather. I guess normally you would hit a zombie in the head when you in normal zombie lore. So he nails the dude in the chest, bursts the thing open. There's more of this nasty crap that was in there going everywhere, and that body's down. That brings up is that Val?
Yeah.
You got the +2, yeah. So yeah, it's you.
Okay, so can I make any kind of advantage through my knowledge of biology?
You can spend the round studying them and trying to figure out what you can do to create an advantage there.
No, rather than spending the round, I think I'm just gonna pummel them. This would be a okay. So I don't have to invoke an aspect until after I've rolled, right?
Exactly,
Okay.
right.
So just basic fight with blue lightning.
Okay, and who are you
Blue
attacking?
lightning.
Go blue
So-
lightning.
It needs like that little theme music for when you invoke it. Blue lightning.
You should do. You've been thunderstruck.
Isaiah, I guess, since he's not
Okay.
damaged yet, and
And he's a little kid.
well, so am I.
It's kid-on-kid violence.
There you go. Do I still have the free invoke on the blue lightning?
Oh yeah, I deleted that, but yes, you do.
Okay. So Isaiah, with the free invoke on blue lightning, using fight, I presume.
Okay. Yeah, so just use your straight fight first, in case.
2.
Yeah, so see like that. To 2, man. I'm starting to lose here. I should use some of these points on my end. Let's see. There isn't a lot that I can use here. You know what I am going to. Thing is, if he takes, well, don't want to give away how his stuff is. So, okay. All right. So I'm using 2 of these here. So okay. So you go into to zap him, and it kind of tries to bat your hand away, and it uses the fact that it's on fire to make it so that you don't want to
I have
touch it.
unshakable self-confidence. I'll take the hit.
Right. Well, so you can. So I'm just.
Oh.
So this is raising its points, and then it raises. So that gets up to 1, and then it's using. And then it lurches back, and like drops. Just goes in and just grabs a bunch of the books off the shelves and like tosses them down in front of you to like put them in your way as
So
well.
can I use my aspect to change my
Sure.
roll, or to improve my?
Absolutely, yes. It would cost you just cost you a fate point to do it.
Okay, so now, but you used 2, so can I actually? You were at -1. I was at +2.
Right. So I'm now at 3, so you can use 1 to get you up to 4, which is still gonna
Which would hit.
Can't you use? So
Right.
Julian, can't you use the the on fire thing? Like, isn't there some way you can
Right.
use?
Yeah,
because
that's
an invoke, isn't it?
yeah. You've got a free
Do you
invoke
need to
against
pay
it. Yep.
a fate point to invoke that as well?
No, because it's free.
Okay, so the fact that they're on fire and are half plant, I'm wondering if it actually increases the amount of damage that it takes by increasing the amount of fire. So the blue lightning, the stab itself, might still be effective even without it shocking.
That would be an effective way to narrate the spending of that fate point or using the free invoke.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so free invoke on fire for that.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, okay. So yeah. So it throws the
Nice.
books out of the way. It throws the books down at you. You're like whoosh. Do the Matrix move to get out of the way, and then nail it. I mean, you don't even like really hit it. You just kind of get near it. But the fact that it's already on fire and the combination of that and the blue lightning, just make it shudder, and then that heart thing just burst as well and blow up in your face as well.
Cool.
So that brings up the last remaining plant zombie thing, which has a name. I just haven't used it yet.
Was that Carolyn?
Well, yeah, Carolyn. They're called creepers. So they're like, okay, my lady.
So I mean that Carolyn is suddenly going to go.
She already has no
Exactly.
crotch, so how much creeping can you do?
Yeah. Lol, JK. Okay, so Carolyn, it's a mindless zombie, so in most cases, you'd think that she might run away, but in this case, not so much. She is going to lash out. Who was she going? She was going at Brian. That's right. So still going at Brian again.
I thought I had actually taken her down on the.
Well, you shot her crotch out.
But you didn't hit the heart thingy.
And so now she's going, down at you. You don't have to succeed by much. So Brian, go and make an athletics roll.
Coming.
Oh, is it? Okay, good. All right. So, and I actually physically don't have enough to counteract that. So, okay. So she kind of goes, and you're just like, oh no.
He does paint a picture.
You guys,
Just cook.
you guys ever seen the movie Beer Fest?
No.
It's not exactly the most the highest brow movie, but there's a part where dude's fighting with this girl and like he punches her in the crotch and she's like, no.
Oh, it's good to know high school was still just yesterday for all of us.
Right. Okay, so that's removed. That brings up everybody else is dead. So that brings up Brian.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the job. Shoot her in the pink thing.
It was really that the timing was everything.
Are we still using phrasing? All right, so okay, so yeah, go and make your roll.
Yeah,
here's her survival
it's
roll.
not just a straight up shot. I mean, there's got to be like a flip or an acrobatics in there somewhere. So I guess I'm down on the ground, pointed up. So I'm going to kind of flip up and do it.
Like doing some Deadpool action.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, she's not avoiding it terribly well. So, actually, wait. This is gun fu. I'm sorry. So it's actually -1. But... Okay, so you actually tied, or so you. Wow, that is a fantabulously bad roll. I didn't have the +1, so that's actually a tie. So if you want to spend a fate point, or there is still a free invoke on the board too.
I'm sorry. What's on the board?
A free invoke.
She's on fire potentially.
Yeah. I'm going to roll with something Gramps used to talk about and spend a fate point, and maybe he told me a way he told me how to deactivate one of these things by pulling out the pink thing.
I think it's got to be. We're gonna be this dirty minded. It's got to be. You need to lick the pink thing until it's in a frenzy.
Yeah, it would be.
Wow.
Tommy, that it would include some kind of a Bible verse along with it. Yeah.
Right.
I'm sure it would.
The Lord is our shepherd.
Wait,
I shall
lick the
not
pink
want.
thing.
Okay, so go ahead and throw your fate point, which then is going to put you up to the +1 plus your rifle, which means that she is down as well.
I bet she is.
Yeah, you just went down on her. Who said I don't know jokes?
Bury that in the backyard for a few days for it to, complete.
All right, so they are now down on the floor in front of you, and I think Val, you indicated you had to leave, so I think that might be where we leave the story for the week.
All right.
Do we level at some point?
Well, we're not quite at the point of a significant milestone, but probably we'll hit that after next
Once we actually get some shit done with, which might be like
Right.
1-2 years down the line.
I killed 2 guys, is what I'm saying.
I invented an eldritch weapon and killed something.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you don't get
I had a
experience
lot of
points for
angry
killing things
smokes.
in this game.
All right.
I mean, yeah. Normally, it's around every 3 to 5 episodes. So we're we're at about that rate.
Okay.
We've gone through, I would say 2.5 at this point.
Cool.
Because last week.
I also like how we have kind of like an ensemble cast going. Like lots of people dipping in every week. And it's pretty cool.
Right. Yeah, I like not having irreverent. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so great. Yeah, yeah, that was a lot of fun this week. I guess we look forward to it next week. And
Thanks very much, John.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, and thanks for showing up. And thanks totally, 100%. Thanks for everybody being here on time. So we get started right at noon. That was fantastic.
This is a blast.